What's going on, fam? Coming back to you guys again. I'm so excited, so grateful to be here with you all. It's been a minute since we gone live, but we're recording a special episode here today with my sis, Block. I'm so excited to do this. We've been talking about it, just game planning our business for the next 90 days. And what a way to kick off 2026 with this episode. It's going to be called Curating your life, the art of becoming. So let me actually add her on so that we can get this ready to go. 1 second here. Let's get it. If you can hear me and see me though, drop a 1 in the chat box. If you can hear me and see me, drop a 1 in the chat box. Perfect. We're going to give you guys some sauce here today. We're going to give you guys a lot of wisdom on how you can start branding yourself and building that digital identity. Miranda,
How are
happy
you?
Sunday. How are you?
Good. My freaking light just died, but
Oh
devil's a
man,
liar. We're here. That's all that matters.
I turned on a little lamp over here
No, that's
so
okay.
we could get some good lighting.
I'm super
But I
excited for
appreciate you.
this.
Yes, I appreciate you for jumping on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, of course.
I'm going to start recording now,
Yep.
and I'm so excited for us. Definitely drop a 2 in the chat if you can see and hear Miranda and I. We're actually going to be recording this for
Mm-hmm.
our podcast, season
Yeah.
3, and I'm just so excited to share this with you all.
Perfect.
So welcome to the Elevate with Eli podcast. I'm your host, and we have a special episode here today with Miss Miranda Block, my sis, business partner, somebody that has been a huge influence on my success. Not only when it comes to social media, but as a leader. We're growing a market here in the Pennsylvania area, and I'm just so grateful to be connected with her. She's poured into not only me, but countless individuals here in our area. We've traveled the world together. I remember meeting her for the first time in Arizona, and it was just such a special moment because I knew that she was somebody, and I knew that she was going to make a huge impact here in our community. So without further ado, Miranda, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. I've been loving running with you for the past, year and a half now. I think we really just started to
Yes,
scale
almost two
together
years now.
like a year ago. So yeah, I'm excited for this.
Absolutely. I want to kick it off by having the audience get to know who you are, who is
Okay.
Miranda, and what has led to you getting to where you are right now in this very
Okay.
moment.
So who am I? I'm a small town girl with big dreams. But I was raised here in Hellertown, Pennsylvania, actually. And for the past 8 years, all I knew was the beauty industry. Some of my clients are actually, yes, girl. Some of my clients are actually here right now, so I absolutely love it. They support me literally through anything. But for the past 8 years, all I knew was the beauty industry. I never really had a job. I never went to college. I didn't have anything but the beauty industry. But about 2 years ago, I kind of took a big
Hmm.
step back because I was just starting to get a taste of freedom in my business. It ran for me whether I was there or not, but there was always something holding me back. Like I would be on vacation or on a business trip, and my employees would be calling me. It would be like 7 in the morning, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, I forgot my key. Like, how am I gonna get in?" And it's like 7 in the morning.
Hmm.
Or I would be on vacation. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not showing up today." I'll never forget. I was at my friend's beach house in Jersey a couple years ago, and one of my employees was like, "Oh, I can't come in today." And I was like, "Okay, I have to either drive all the way home or the salon is gonna lose out on clients, lose out on income." And my clients know if I wasn't showing up for them, they wouldn't still be in my chair 5 or 8 years into the industry now. Which that's what made my business scale in the first place, is I always showed up for my
Right.
clients for life and business,
Hmm.
of course, as their lash artist. But yeah, 2 years ago, I took a step back and I was like, this is not going to
You
bring me
saw
the
the
freedom.
reality of having an
Yes,
in-person business. Yeah, I
exactly.
feel you.
Yeah, it brought me to the realization. I was like, this isn't going to bring me the life that I wanted, and at least not in this way. So about a year ago now, maybe 9 months, I closed my salon full time to be a full digital entrepreneur. I've become a social media educator on our platform that we work
Let's
on.
go. Let's go.
We are top leaders in our
Mm-hmm.
community. So life did a 360. I didn't expect that this was gonna be my life right now. I thought I was gonna own my
Mm-hmm.
beauty business forever.
Yeah,
But
could we talk about that a little bit more? Like
yes,
you took a huge risk, starting your beauty business, and um, it really inspired me when I first met you. I just saw your passion and your drive for your career in beauty and what you were doing. Like, talk about that transition and, maybe how you felt during that time, because that's a
yeah,
lot. Having a business is like a baby, and
it,
you're birthing it, and then you're
yeah,
closing it down and everything. Like, take us
yeah.
through that and how that actually went for you.
So when I closed it, you mean you want me to talk about the transition when I closed it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, some days I look back at that time, even it was only what 8 months ago, but I look back at it and I'm just like, oh my God, like I was grieving. I didn't
Hmm.
expect to grieve like an entire life I thought I was gonna have. I literally felt like something was dying, like my baby was dying. I put all
Right.
time, all my energy, all my money into it for the past 8 years. I gave up my 20s. I wouldn't change it for the world. I learned so much that I think also helps me in this business as well, but it was not easy at all. There was days where I was like, what the heck did I do? Like, did one bad season, like, did I give up? Did I fail? Did I give up? Or did I just pivot? Because here we always say until. So I would reflect in that down season, in a season
Yes.
I wasn't
That rock
educated.
bottom becomes your biggest blessing. Yes.
Exactly. Did I give up the until with my business? But
Hmm.
I just realized I had to come to terms with the fact that I didn't give up my vision. It's not the how, it's essentially the what. What do you want? And I
Yeah.
had to realize is what I'm doing now gonna get me what I want in a couple of years. So I didn't give up on until, but I had to grow that mindset to be able to identify that and know that all I did was change my vehicle. So yeah, but it was
Absolutely.
yeah.
Wow, what a ride, what a journey. And
Yeah.
now, social media educator, securing brand deals. What would you say your top three tips are to
Mm-hmm.
maybe land your first deal? Because maybe there's people on here that, just use social media. Like for me,
Yeah.
I know if there's anyone like me, I just use social media to like look cool, post my wrestling journey, keep up with friends and family. Like that's what majority of people use social media for. But now we're in this creator economy, right? People are
Yeah.
posting, getting paid, securing brand deals, building community. How did that phase in after you closed down your beauty business?
So I think it's one of those things of that's what I always wanted when I was little. I always just wanted to, I
Hmm.
always said I didn't want to work. I didn't want to clock in. I never saw myself having a job. I just wanted to live. And at
Right.
the time, UGC wasn't even a word yet. It was just like you're either
Uh-huh.
a YouTube vlogger making thousands and millions, but you're showcasing your entire life and spending all your time on YouTube, or you're just somebody scrolling on Instagram. Um,
Hmm.
so I was always back and forth with YouTube, but mind you, I was like in high school at the time. It's not like it popped off or anything like that. Um, but I think one,
Sheesh.
yeah,
I
yeah.
wish I started when I was in high school.
Really. But I just that's what I always wanted. It's just one of those things. Like that's where I say, like, okay, small town girl, but I had big dreams. Like I always wanted to be a creator. I
For
always
sure.
wanted to live for a living, but it just wasn't a thing. So I had to know that even when other people were talking down on it, and not necessarily saying you can't do it or don't do it, but they weren't talking it up like it was a reality.
Hmm.
I had to just remind myself that they're not supposed to see your vision. Only you are supposed to be able to
Right.
believe in your vision. So to just keep pushing. And now, after building
God
a
planted that vision in your heart, not anyone else's.
yeah, and it
Hmm.
took me getting rid of my salon for everything to flourish in social media. Um, so yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. If everyone's enjoying this, drop some hearts in the chat box because it takes courage, to close down a business that you're so passionate about and then move on to something that may feel a little bit, scary at first, right? It may feel a little bit um not new, but it's like, man, I just closed down this recent
Yeah.
business. I just stopped doing this other thing, and now I'm going to go full time with something else,
Mhm.
right? How do you feel like that helped you though and shaped you going into that next phase? Because you did close it down, right? And
Yeah.
like, but I'm sure there was things that you learned along the way that helped you get to where you are now. So what do you think some of those things are, uh,
Um, can
that you
you
learned?
repeat it? I was trying to give us likes.
Yes. No, no. What were some of the lessons that you learned from being a beauty business owner in person full time, having employees, figuring out the cash flow and everything, taxes. I'm
Mhm.
sure there's so many things that go into it, but
Yeah.
it's helped you being a creator. Maybe talk about some of the things that you that's kind of like weight off your shoulders a little bit now that
Yeah.
you don't have to deal with all that.
Well, now that like okay, it's about to be the first of the month. Typically, the
Mm-hmm.
first of the month, I would have multiple rents to pay and five employees to pay at one time. So I was sitting in church today, and I would always get like a lot of stress in my shoulders in the beginning of the month. And
Mm-hmm.
I was so tense of like, holy crap, like I have so much to pay today. And I in church today, like I felt I felt myself like getting like my uh, tight shoulder, and I was like, it's
Uh-huh.
really my body being wired for the past how many years. Like right
Right.
now, business, there's not
It's
much
like
in
we hold it inside. It's
this.
the body
Exactly.
keeps score.
Yeah, so it's just
Hmm.
breaking that. Um, so it's like, okay, all of my old habits, all of the like in a business, even
Hmm.
now, like thank God I don't have to worry about paying people anymore.
Yeah.
But now we get to focus on helping people pay themselves and make their own income and learn skills, which I absolutely love because our team is in control of their own income.
Hmm.
Um, but shoot, I forgot where I was going with this. Um, not having to like put food on the table for my employees before myself.
Right.
Because mind you, I was 20 years old when I opened my business.
It's
Thank
a lot
God.
of responsibility.
Yeah, and I didn't know what I was doing. I had
Hmm.
500 different accountants. I didn't understand anything. I didn't understand taxes. The first year and a half, 2 years of my business, like I didn't even have any paperwork or anything like that for any parts of business because I didn't know. And
Hmm.
then once it came time to like move downtown and they were like, no, like you're a legit business. Like you got to step it up a little bit.
Right.
It was like a 360, but I also fell in love with business. Like I love business. I love money.
Hmm.
I love like I went from being the artist to now being the artist of a business. I love the back end of everything. I love marketing, sales. I love business. So it taught me
Right.
a
How did that carry? Yeah, I was gonna ask, how did that carry over into where you are now, like the
yes.
branding side, curating your life, like.
So for the network marketing aspects of what we do, you're networking for a living.
Hmm.
Now with that, it's you're obviously getting to know people, building relationships, but then in the
Hmm.
end, you tie it into okay, where are you at now, and how can I help you get there? How can I help you get your freedom? So I think building relationships with my clients. For example, one of my clients is on right now, and we're not even talking about beauty industry. We're not even talking about lashes. She knows
Right.
that I'll be actually moving to Miami for this full time
Let's
short
go.
before
Congratulations.
I tell you.
I remember us having that conversation. To see it
Yeah,
come into life, it's like, wow,
yeah, she's
it's
a
it's
client. I was
incredible.
scared to tell. I was like, how could I leave her? So it's just crazy because I learned how to build genuine relationships. I am not
Mhm.
somebody that's just gonna have a random relationship to be like, pay me or something like that. Like I
Yeah,
have what, 7 clients in total right now, and
you go
that's
deep with your
it.
clients
Yeah,
and
and
everyone you work with.
exactly. I'm very particular
Hmm.
with who I spend my time with, and who I pour into as well. And yeah,
I love that. I love
yeah.
to hear that. What
Hmm.
what what would be the message that you would give to someone that was in your shoes maybe 6 to 12 months ago before you found out about network marketing, before you found
Yeah,
out about, UGC and all these different avenues that are coming towards you now?
I would say just stay open-minded to a bigger version of yourself because with my
Hmm.
beauty industry, with my beauty business, I got everything I wanted. So I had to know that there was more out there. So every single person that's building a business, I don't want to say like close your business down or anything like that. I can't wait for the day that I have another physical location, multiple physical locations in a whole new way with everything that I learned. But it's like
Yes.
if there's more out there for you, then running your own rat race, then being trapped at a job, then only making a couple sales with your business. Like one of my
Hmm.
a new students, she has a strawberry business, a baking business. It's like, but to be able
Wow.
in the first place to where you want it to go, you have to first just know that you're capable of that, that you're
Hmm.
capable of learning that, learning how to scale that business, learning how to learn these skills, being a mom and being an employee at the exact same time. Like, a,
Yeah.
you have to manage your time, but you have to, above anything else, you have to believe that there is more out there for you, or you are just going to live in that comfort 24/7 because that's what you think you're deserving and worthy of.
Absolutely. What do you love about where you're at right now? Because you know what it took to close down your business and
Yeah.
obviously move into your phase that you're in now. Being an educator, being a
Yeah.
UGC creator, like what do you absolutely love about what you do
What
now compared
I
to
love
before?
right now is that I got majorly humbled this year and I needed that. So I love that, but it just gave me an entire different perspective on business, on where I'm going. And the like I feel like the past 2 to 3 months, I really took this industry as a business,
Mhm.
like how I ran my old business. Like I have my hours that I work, I have my boundaries, my lunch breaks,
Yes,
whatever it is.
boundaries are important.
Exactly. I don't just work with anybody anymore to
Hmm.
close a sale. Um, I if you're not here for specific reasons, then there's gonna be somebody else better for you, but
Hmm.
that's not I'm not the mentor for you. So
Right.
I think just as I grow, stepping into different parts of leadership, um, that's kind of
Yeah, I
helped.
like I love the way this the I love
Mhm,
where this is going because you spoke
mhm.
about boundaries. Like what are some of those boundaries?
Yeah.
What do those boundaries look like in your business?
Mhm.
Because, maybe there's a girl on here right now that wants to get started into business, but it looks
Yeah.
intimidating.
Yeah.
She there's different fears that
Hmm.
people are dealing with on a day to day. I know I have my own fears.
Yeah.
But how did you set those
Uh-huh.
boundaries for yourself? And
Yeah.
what does that look like for you?
I think on one of the very first calls we get on, it's super important to go over those. So I do right away
Hmm.
say, like, look, I don't get paid to mentor you. Like, we don't get paid to
Yes.
hop on 5 calls a week, but I do tell my students, like, if you want to be on calls 5 days a week, I will, as long as you're doing your homework, as long as you're doing your assignments and you're pushing.
Yeah.
But I don't get, you have like a 3 strike rule. If you show me, you know me, if you show me once
Yes.
you don't want this, I take it.
Where will tell you.
I'm not gonna push you. I'm not gonna chase you.
Uh-huh.
As your mentor, like yes, if you tell me your goal, if you're vulnerable enough to tell me your goal, I'm gonna do everything I can to stay on your ASS and push you. I will push you out of your comfort zone in
Facts.
a way. But this truly is for 1% of people, and I think within the last couple of months that's something that my eyes have really opened up to. So when somebody shows me once that maybe not even that this isn't what they want, but maybe they're just not ready for it, because if I were to find this 5 years ago, maybe I
Uh-huh.
wasn't ready for it yet. So I think just almost evaluating.
Right,
um
because you don't want to pull on somebody's leg and like,
mhm,
beg them, come on, keep
yeah,
running with me. It's like, what
exactly.
about what I always think of that like that meme where,
Mhm.
you have you're trying to help somebody up, but you can drown.
Yeah.
Somebody's about to drown and you're about to help them, but they can pull you down with them,
Exactly.
if we're not careful with
Because
that. And I love that point that you made. Go ahead.
no, it's okay. Just not everybody wants to be helped. Not everybody wants to be saved. It's not our job to
Mm-hmm.
save anybody. But the kind of people that we are here at Alpha Society, we have such open hearts. We want to bring everybody with us. It's like dating in a way. Like you
It
see someone
is.
for where they're going, and it's like you have to see them for where they're at now. Of course, you
Mm-hmm.
want to see what they're like, where they are going, and see their potential, but you have to almost find that middle ground of, okay, where are you at now? Like honestly,
Mm-hmm.
where are you struggling now? What do we need to help you with now? Because maybe building isn't right for you right now. Maybe learning a new skill isn't right for you right now. Maybe it is just hop on
Mm-hmm.
mornings with Neno. Maybe you do need mindset before anything else. Um,
Right. Yeah.
so, but yeah, I know. all of us here,
You and
we
me.
we want to help it.
Yeah, we do want to help everyone.
Yeah.
We do, and I love that. And we maybe we could talk about finding your running partners and
Yeah.
posting to attract and becoming the person to find them. Uh, we both know Angel. She's an
Yeah.
amazing running
Mhm.
partner that you have by your side, and maybe you could talk about that process a little bit on how you were able to find
Mhm.
people like Angel, leaders in your business that you're able to run with.
Mhm.
I see we have questions as well. We'll save those for the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Uh, but maybe we could talk about that a little bit
Yeah.
because people want to build a successful business.
So I think there's two right now from my perspective, I think there's two different kinds of leaders. The kinds
Hmm.
that kind of is just that natural leader and the kind that you have to coach into that. But before anything, they have to want that. So one thing I'm
Hmm.
doing right now, and this is actually something I'm changing. So I'm experimenting with it right now, but I'm having that talk before we sign them up of do you want to step into leadership? Because right now that is what I
Hmm.
am looking for. I love my students. I need students. We all need students. We all are students. I'm a full-time student.
Yes.
But I right now I love duplication. I love perfect invite. Like that is what I love. I love
Hmm.
everything in the marketing industry. So that's the people that I want to work with in this season. So I think it just comes down to on the very first call, setting the expectation of that because I never want somebody to enroll and we have different expectations. You either want to
Hmm.
be in leadership or you don't. But sometimes people, I feel like it's not like you're searching for leaders, but again, it just naturally happens.
Yes.
But some people, I think, like let's say it was my first day here. I didn't even know what I signed up for at the time,
Hmm.
right? And you're like you're on this high and your mentor comes to you and they're like, "Hey, do you want to step into leadership or do you want to stay a
Hmm.
student?" Naturally, my because I haven't experienced the convention, I haven't experienced all the community and all the like the greatness that we have, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm not ready to be a
For sure.
leader." Like, I don't even know how to trade yet. How can I help somebody
Hmm.
trade? But at the end of the day, you don't need to coach somebody to trade. The educators get paid to educate. We aren't supposed to be educating. Of course,
Right.
I'm gonna be your
That's like
run.
a big misconception. It's like,
Exactly.
why are they talking about trading if they haven't done X, Y, and Z? And it's like
Exactly.
we're not the experts. We're leveraging mentors, we're leveraging experts, and we're learning together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe we could talk about that in residual income as
Yeah.
well with our next topic and
Mm-hmm.
our next segment. How has the power of residual income shaped your mindset and helped you become better? Because you do have UGC
Mm-hmm.
retainer deals and different stuff like that. Are they the same? Do they go together? And what are some of the differences?
Um, I don't okay, I feel like some people think residual income is just like online income. And
Mm-hmm.
people are like, okay, residual income is you work now, you get paid later. I feel like in the business
Right.
network marketing, I always tell my students, I just told this to Chris the other day, the work you put in now, you will get paid for 3 months. But on the
Yes.
ends of that, like when I was building my UGC course, I took I fell back within the business aspect because I put so much time into the course. So now 3 months later I was seeing a dip in my business. I'm like, it's because just like the work you put in now you're going to get paid for in 3 months, the work you don't do right now you're not going to get paid for in three
Mm-hmm.
months so to me residual income is not that you don't
It's
have to.
building up momentum. It's like what we do
Yeah.
now, we're going to see the results in the next 90 days.
Exactly. Like
Mm-hmm.
crypto, even trading. I'm like, is trading technically residual income or is it just digital income? To me, I think trading is
Right.
digital because you're in
Yeah,
the field, you're getting paid out right away. I think UGC
absolutely.
thing. You're doing,
Long-term investing is more passive.
yeah.
Yeah, trading is more active. I found one.
Yeah, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
a retainer deal with UGC, I'm still putting in the work and getting paid one paycheck. Even if
Mm-hmm.
it is a retainer, you're still doing the work every single month, and then every single month you just have that paycheck. But of course, like there's different types of residual income you can make in every industry, but residual
Yeah.
income a lot with my crypto, seeing how okay, you put a couple of dollars in and potentially you see a good return. So that is something
Mm-hmm.
that like in my business, in my old business, the dollhouse, my residual income was in the physical world. I put in years of work for
Hmm.
years of my artist to work for me. Um,
Right.
so I
So it was
think,
more physical on that side, but it transferred
yeah,
beautifully. Yeah, I
exactly.
feel you.
But
Residual income creates happiness. That's how
exactly,
you get rich.
but at the same time, from my physical business point of view, it's like I close the doors, it's done. I don't have residual income anymore. Like
Hmm.
as soon as the doors close, as soon as every employee is gone, there is no money working for me. So of course it's residual income, but like crypto, I don't need to
Hmm.
keep putting the work in for. I could, it sits here and it works.
Right.
So,
Right. I love that. And I'm curious to know like how did your family and the people
mhm.
closest to you like how did they go about supporting you or what was their perspective on everything that you were doing since the beginning? And how did
Yeah.
it change?
So with Dollhouse or with this
Yeah,
business?
both like from the
Okay.
beginning up until now.
So I think my family always went the practical way.
Hmm.
Nobody's been an entrepreneur yet. When I first joined this business, there was a couple of people that told me like, "No, it's a scam. Go watch this movie on Netflix."
Hmm.
And all this, and I'm like, okay. And I watched it, and I did have that fear, and I was like, oh my gosh, what if this is a scam, or what if it doesn't work out? But the end of
Yes.
the day, I remember when I first opened Dollhouse, and it was you could go be this instead, you could go do this, and it's because other people poured their insecurities or their fears into me, rightfully so, because you always want what's best for the people around you. But the
Hmm.
end of the day, I did it and it worked. So when I joined this business, everyone and a lot of people told me not to. Um, I had to remember, okay, when I first opened Dollhouse, the banks denied me. Everybody told me no, and it worked beautifully. So
Wow.
on the day of sign up and the day that I enrolled as
Hmm.
a student and a mentee, everything told me no. My card didn't work the first few times. Everyone around me told me no. And I was like, I almost didn't. I was like, no, I can't do
Hmm.
this. I have my business. And then I just remembered, I was like, I've been here before and I
Hmm.
took a risk with Dollhouse and it's the best thing I ever did. So what's gonna happen? What's the worst that's gonna happen? Say yes when everything else says no. And at the end of the day, what's
Absolutely.
a $99 investment to start a business?
Yeah,
It's
no, no, for real,
yeah,
because it's so simple, but we can make it so complicated, thinking,
yeah.
it's such a small thing, but we tend to overlook it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're literally driving in a Lamborghini, we're driving in a Ferrari, and we don't even realize it. I feel you.
Literally.
What was that event? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
your first event. I
Mm-hmm.
believe it was Arizona, but what
Yeah.
was that event that changed everything for you? Because we do run these events in Pennsylvania. We do have one coming up, and we
Yeah.
could talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit as well.
We do.
But
So my first event, I believe, was Arizona, but I don't know if I had the shift at Arizona. Like I look back at my
when was that? When was that? Yeah.
I don't remember the location, but I remember the time. And when I think it was in Miami this past year with the shift, which you would
Wow.
think like that's the time where you're like, oh my God, no, let me go back
Hmm.
to my business and what I know. Yes, Arizona gave me an eye opener, but I was also very secluded. I always stayed to myself. I would make my content and go. But my eyes did open. I was that person in the back of the room just watching, but then by the second convention, I was the person making sure I was sitting up front. That's what it was. I had to
Mm.
so at Rise? No, Rise is where we're going to this
Thrive.
Thrive,
Was it
yes.
Thrive? Yeah.
It was Thrive, and I had students with me, and that was such a different feeling. I was like, okay, like I see this for myself, but now to see other people like loving this and seeing a new future and a new way for themselves, that was the flip of like, I signed up for me. I didn't sign, I wasn't one that I was like, I want to sign up for this so I can put food on the table for my family,
Hmm.
this and this. I was the opposite. I was like, I put food on the table for my employees and everyone for too long. I was like, this is for me. But then
Right.
at
Let me
Thrive,
pour into my cup real quick.
in Thrive is when I was like, oh my God, like, okay. I got what I wanted. I poured into me for a little bit. I refound this new version
Hmm.
of me back to, of course, me in the center. Like you said, you can't help somebody if, you know, they're drowning,
Yeah,
or they're drowning you type of thing. But I was like, okay, this is about other people. It's not about the paycheck. It's about how many people can I impact. So
exactly.
that was my
Exactly. Yeah. There's just one concept that John C. Maxwell talks about that you can
idea.
either train people or trade them. You know,
Okay.
like if they're not willing to be trained and learn and develop
Yeah.
and grow, if that's not helping, because we don't want to just let people go and say, oh yeah, like I'm not working with you anymore, unless it gets to that point, but in that case we would trade them, right?
Exactly.
And we would trade them for somebody better. So I believe good people are found, and just the way that you've developed leaders in your business, it's just been a pleasure to work with you side by side. I'm
Thank you.
grateful to
I love working
be
with
in
you.
this together.
Question for you.
Yes.
Okay, when you think about your past self, the one that
Hmm.
first started in this business, because what, you've been in for 4 or 5 years?
I've been in for yeah. I've been in for about
Oh
almost coming on 5 now,
oh
going
my
into
God.
2026.
Okay, so rewind back to that person that was like, okay, yes, I'm getting started. What do you wish he knew?
I wish he knew the type of journey that was ahead of him. In the beginning, it's always like the unexpected. What is it called? Basically, the unexpected optimism. You're super excited. You're like, oh my gosh, I just started this business. I'm gonna get rich, everything. But if I could have just like maybe had like a mind movie of what
Mhm.
was ahead, I'd have been like, oh,
Yeah.
Eli, you have a journey ahead of you.
Do you think if you knew what was gonna happen, like if you could see like
Mm,
through um a vision ball or whatever, it
yeah,
would still have signed
crystal
up?
ball. I believe I would have. I believe I
When you
would.
personally developed yet or anything like that.
Oh man.
Like when you really thought
Do
you
I
were,
have to look at the crystal ball? Like I have to look at it, or could
yeah.
I say no?
No, you have to look at it.
I have to look at it. I would still say yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
100%. I would say yes.
Yeah, I agree. I
What
feel
a
like,
great question.
yeah,
That was an amazing question.
I feel like I would definitely have signed up because this has changed my life in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I saw that I would have closed Dollhouse and taken some of the
Yes.
like ways that I would have went, I would have out of fear been like, oh, I'm not doing that. Like again, this is what I know. Like
Mm-hmm.
that comfort. So yeah.
I
But
love that.
what
What are
part of
some tips? Oh, go ahead. We just
no,
asking each other questions. I love it.
I'll ask you one more.
Okay.
Okay, what part of your past still tries to show up now? And how do you keep it from leading your future?
Man, I feel like one thing from my past that starts to show up now, it's that little voice in our head that tells us that like we're not gonna make it, we're not gonna get to that level, this isn't gonna happen for us. But it's like as soon as I catch it, I'm like, that's the old Eli. Like that's the Eli that used to doubt himself. That's the Eli that used to, get down on himself. Like now I'm catching that voice more than ever because before I would just let it keep dumping more and more and more of those feelings into my heart, and now I'm just like I reject that. Like
Yeah,
that is not my reality. I'm not
that's
buying into that.
yeah. That's,
So wow, that's a great question. That was a phenomenal question.
thanks. ChatGPT came up with it.
Back to you though. I want to I
Yeah.
want to I want to hear about your perspective as well.
For the same thing, I would say
Hmm.
it's that limiting belief or that intuitive thought of because I
Yeah.
like I was just talking to my mentor Mina about this. That was for a season, a couple maybe like 3 weeks ago. I was like, oh my God, my
Hmm.
anxiety, my depression was bad. And I was like, okay, I got cold. Like, is my body wired to like old seasonal depression, old anxiety and everything? And
Wow.
you're able to identify it. You know your
Hmm.
intuitive thoughts. It's not like that intuitive thought is at this point in my life. I feel like the intuitive thoughts don't go away. But like you said, you have so much more clarity on them. You know it's a thought that's not put there by you. So it's like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna take and replace that with? But that is
Hmm.
something that it took me years to do. It took me probably a good year and a half through therapy to rewire my mind and get change the narrative that was in my mind.
Hmm.
That also helped in the business and in my results now. Because again, like the very first thing we said on the call is it all starts in your mind. You have to know there's more.
Yeah,
But if
all starts in your
there's
mind.
the negative, how are you gonna grow? You know?
Absolutely. What would you say to that person now, like that
Hmm.
maybe is feeling because the holiday seasons are coming. I'm sure we feel
Yeah,
it as well, but a lot of times I feel like we're experiencing things,
yeah,
but we're coaching someone to get out of it at the same
exactly.
time.
Yeah.
But
I
how would you coach that person on the other side of the screen right now?
How would I coach them? I would
Hmm.
say to lean on your community because I always say, at first when I joined this business, I had just quit lashing. I had
Hmm.
no idea where I was going. And at this point, I didn't borrow the vision from anybody. I didn't know what the vision was. I didn't know who Neno was. I didn't know who Matt was or anything like that. I was just like,
Right.
okay, like I knew in a
Me
way
too.
to make income here, but I didn't know what was possible at all. I was just like, I just want to learn how to grow my social media. Um,
Yeah.
so I would say, going back to what I said, a lot of the time, like when I would have my calls with Amber, she didn't
Hmm.
do it, but that was just getting me out of bed because I was like depressed at the time and I was like, what am I doing?
Wow.
So I think being around my community, being on the phone with Amber, being on the
Hmm.
phone with Mel, with Mina, it's like I used to isolate like crazy. Um,
Hmm.
I always would like text my friends in the beginning of winter and be like, "Hey, just so you know, I do this. You're probably not going to hear from me or see me for a couple of months because I hibernate in the winter.
You
I stay in
hibernate.
the apartment, I make my money, and that's it."
I
So
already know.
yeah, I had to break that. Um,
I
so I
love that. You spoke about Mina, you spoke about Amber. What was that like when you first met them, right? I know you spoke about, listening to Mina's lives but you
yes,
finding that mentor because I'm sure
yeah,
somebody is on this live is looking for that mentor, somebody
yeah.
that's gonna listen to this. How did
Hmm.
that go for you?
I think when it came to getting another mentor, I feel like at that
Hmm.
point I had so many already. Like I
Yeah.
was around the best of the best in the hair industry, in the makeup industry, in the lash industry.
Mentors
And
come into your life for a reason and
exact
during special seasons.
Yes,
Hmm.
but right before that, I was actually working with mentors that I was like, I was seeing results and I was learning a lot, but
Hmm.
something inside told me, I don't know if I really trust these people. I don't know, like something is not right. So then when I started
Wow.
to work with Mina, I had to break that and be like, okay, like
Mm.
people are going to be genuine in helping you. Not everybody out
Yeah.
here to get a swipe of the card like some people.
Hmm.
So I think I had to break that. But also,
That's
I
true.
working with Mina, it probably scared me for actually like a year and a half working with her. Like one thing I
Hmm.
always say is stop being so focused on being besties with your mentor and be more focused on being a mentee of your mentor because that's what they're there for.
Hmm.
I think a lot of the time,
Being a great student.
yeah, I think a lot of the time people want to force the relationship and not like really be there to get the knowledge, get
Right. And
the education.
apply it.
Yeah, so Mina is
Hmm.
somebody who she's like me. She tells you what you need to hear, not what you want. So a lot of the time that can put you in uncomfortable situations. On my one of
Yeah.
my very first phone calls, she made me do the perfect invite and call somebody on the spot, and I was like, oh my God, like my pits were sweating.
Peace.
Like what? And now
Yeah.
I do that with all of my students. I had Chris do that, Raquel do that, all my students. I'm like, nope, call somebody. I'm gonna listen right now.
Start to get red. Your voice
No,
starts to
literally.
tremble a little bit.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
it pulled me out of my comfort zone in a way like other mentors didn't necessarily do for me.
You love that
So
she helped you grow. Like she
yeah.
basically pushed you to grow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the days that I didn't want to. And now, even if there's a day like a Sunday night at 9 o'clock, if I'm like, I just want to go to bed, I don't want to be on a call right now, I get on Sunday night vision call anyway. And I'm like, wow, that's the call I needed more than anything. And now I'm genuinely excited
Cool.
for the week. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you just have to
I
break
love that.
through the uncomfortable phases.
I love that. I love that. And as we're doing uncomfortable things, right? This will be one of the last topics that we speak
Mhm.
about. We have people that are following us, right? How are you finding that balance? And maybe what are some of your favorite things to do with your students to build that connection and build that relationship? Where do you like to
Yeah,
go? What do you
yeah.
like to experience? Tell
So,
us.
we just had a Friendsgiving here
Mm-hmm.
in Allentown. We have weekly team meetups as well. A lot of Zoom calls for students that are like all over the globe. But and weekly blitzes that we're able to get on too. But I think convention and in person helps build the relationship so much. So not gonna lie, it's a
Mm-hmm.
fear that I'm kind of still getting over when I have a student join and they're not in my city or not in like Amber City or somebody that I know will be able to hold them accountable and lead them in the way that I would want them to be led, or
Mm-hmm.
in the way that I was led. It kind of does scare me a little bit. I'm like, how am I gonna build a relationship with this person? How am I really gonna be able to help them the same amount that I could help somebody that's right here in my city? But the community is a bonus. So it's like that's the point of okay, make sure you get out to convention. Make sure like if I have 10 students in a city, when they do an
Mm-hmm.
Orlando event, I am gonna fly out here and there to build that relationship. But I think in person,
Right. Making the commitment to be in person with them and fly out to them.
yeah, and
I
two,
love
just
that.
like, for example, like Markel and Chris, they are pretty much starting at the same point. And a lot of my team is females as well. So as soon as I have a bunch of guys, I'll throw them in group chats together, and naturally they'll just grow like a brotherhood, and then they'll have somebody to run with. So I think also just like
Yes.
I know how much
We need that. We need that as men. We
exactly.
definitely need to be around other strong men for sure.
Yeah. But like when I started with Mina, she connected me with Amber right away. Amber connected me with Mel. And then from there it's like, okay, like I have sisters with them. I'm sisters with them, even with Angel and stuff like that. So I think again you don't want to force the relationship.
Hmm.
I think it just grows with time, but I think it takes more patience too. I think people
More
do
patience.
relationship with their team and their mentor
Yeah.
because we're all here for. We're here for community. Um,
Hmm.
but I would say the person I was a couple years ago, I would want to be besties with people like this for a sense of
Yeah.
community, a sense of sisterhood. And looking back, one thing I would say is like, okay, slow down, be your true, genuine self. Don't mimic the people around you. Stay true to you, and your people will come. I feel like that's how I ended up here. I was true to me, and then my people came rather than searching just for anyone, if that makes sense.
Right. No, I hear you 100%. And we have this event that's happening. See
Hey,
about
Mel.
the chat. I see we have this event that's happening December 13th. Maybe we could go over a little bit, the vision and the types of people that we are looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have our event here on December 13th. It'll be in Allentown, PA, and it's going to be a 4 hour long Super Saturday. So we're going to be doing about 2 hours of training with social media, and just not even social media, but because we're going to be going into the new year, we really want to focus on helping people that are stuck, helping people that don't have a sense of themselves, that aren't able to be their true, authentic self
Hmm.
when they're around other people, because they're shy to be themselves, or they're scared, or their limiting
Hmm.
beliefs, or they make themselves smaller even to make everybody around them bigger. So we really want to help
Wow.
people like that step into find your identity. Who is your identity? In person, but then also online. How much of your journey do you want to
Hmm.
share? How much of your business do you want to share? Who do you want to be as a creator, and who do you want to be behind closed doors as well? Making sure those people align. But making sure that you're not giving too much of yourself to the world as well. But we want to help those people find themselves in a sense of fulfillment so that in this year 2026 they're able to show up online, whether it be social media, crypto, trading, anything in the digital world, show up as their best self, their best mentor, the best student and trader,
Hmm.
crypto investor, whatever it is. Because if you don't have a sense of who you are or who you want to be 5 years from now, you could learn a million different income streams, but you're not necessarily gonna have success until you find what is meant for you.
Right. That was beautifully said. That was beautifully said. Thank you so much, Mur, for jumping on and helping us record this podcast episode. I know this is going to serve a lot of people. Where can people find you and get access to more of your
Yeah.
value and mentorship?
The most of Mer on all platforms on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. And my DMs are always open as well. I'm here to help anybody, even just be an outlet for somebody. So, yeah, thank you for having me. This was so much fun. I can't wait to see your
Absolutely.
podcast on the big screens and run it up with you in PA.
Let's go. Let's do it, my sis. We appreciate you. Before we go, I believe somebody had a question.
Oh, yeah.
Um, So in mentoring, were they invested in your mentorship and then they didn't follow through? They ghost you, don't follow your assignments. How do you go about that?
So I don't chase. At first, I did. Even here and there, like if I have somebody that I really believe in, and it's like time and time again, they're just complaining and complaining about their situation that
Hmm.
they're in now, especially my beauty business girls, because I was there. Even sometimes now, like I'll still complain and I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't go to the gym this morning, I didn't do this, or I'm not
Hmm.
where I want to be. And it's like, okay, are we doing the things that we have our students do, or that we tell our students to do, or are you just talking the talk? Or are you walking the walk? So I do give everybody grace, for sure, because we're all human beings. But again, I kind of have a three strike rule. Like if you show me once you don't want this, I will back up and I'll give you the 20% instead of giving you my 80%. Um, but I'll always
Correct.
check in and I'll be like, hey, let's do a wellness check. And I'll always ask like, is this really what you want? I'll ask time and time again. It's again, especially my beauty business girls, like I will push them a little bit more. Um, but just because I was in their shoes, and I know what it's like to have slow days and not know how you're making your next rent or your next pay or whatever it is, but I also now know
Yes.
the way to more, so I really try to push them a little bit more. But if somebody's ghosting me, it's like they always say in dating, you know your red flags by the very first conversation that you have with somebody. Those red flags are never going to change. So if somebody shows me that they're lacking communication, A, I
Hmm.
know that's something I have to work on with them. And that is going to be like one of our homework assignments is like communication exercises. But if you're ghosting me, why would I chase you? You made it clear that you might say you want this, but you don't actually want it as bad as you think. So see you
I
later.
love that. I love that. I love that. And okay,
Hmm.
while you're on here, I want to give everyone three tips from you for
Okay.
somebody to curate their life. They don't know where to start. Can you give them three tips on maybe to how to start posting content and
Yeah.
eventually turn it into deals?
Yes, I think you asked me that in the
Oh,
beginning.
I did?
You did. No, but I did.
Okay.
Okay, so number one is have who you are. Again, if you don't have your
Hmm.
identity as a creator, you don't have anything, because you could create, like right here, I have three brands or a brand that I have to create for tomorrow. And then I have like hair care product back here I have to create for it too. And it's like, are they in the same niche, or are you just creating anything to create anything? Because then,
Hmm.
yeah, get some $60 deals, some $50 deals, but that's not going to create a paycheck for you. That's just going to make burnout for you, because it's going to be a lot of work for not that much income. So you need to
Right.
who you are as a creator if you want this as a career and not just as a hobby. So know who you are as a creator, know who you're speaking to as well. A lot of people don't know who their target audience is, and that's something that I actually slept on for a long time as well. And then as soon as I focused on it, that's when everything started to convert from just like posts with a lot of likes and comments to posts that actually like put money in my pocket. Um And then
Wow.
also, I would say just stay authentic and be vulnerable as well. Like if you scroll on my page, you'll see videos of me like bawling my eyes out. Of course, not every day, like it's not your journal. But know that you're creating a personal brand and you're not gonna sell a thing. Um, yeah, and even as yourself as a UGC creator, you're selling yourself. So you're not
Yes.
going to sell yourself on a brand
They
deal
have
or
to buy into you before they
exactly.
buy what you have.
Exactly. Yes,
Mhm.
perfectly said. So yeah, I would say those are my three things that'll take you from just a couple dollar deals here and there to actually making it your career.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. You know, we had to get the value out of you real quick at the
Yeah,
end. And for those that listened all the way through, they got to listen into those three tips. Miranda, we appreciate you. We'll see everyone at the top because the bottom is way
is
too
way too
crowded.
crowded.
Let's go. But we never
Bye
look down
guys.
on anyone unless we want to help them out.
Yes.
Much
Yes.
love.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.